Chapter 17, Mishnah 5. The Mishnah turns to a different type of base of pras, a field in which a grave was lost. That is, we do not know that the field contains a grave, but we know that the field contains a grave, but we do not know where in the field it is, although the field was not plowed over. Such a field is also called a base of pras and is tame. See Mishnah 3 and chapter 18, Mishnah 3. Moreover, while a grave that was plowed over transmits tuma only to a person who touches or moves the dirt, a field in which a grave was lost transmits tuma even through ohel, to anyone who enters the field or forms a roof over it, even if he does not touch its dirt. This Mishnah discusses a house that is built on such a field. If there is a field in which a grave was lost, and someone built on the field a house with an upper story above it, the lower story of the house is tame, since it might be an ohel directly above the lost grave site. The Mishnah discusses the status of the upper story. This house has no opening connecting the two stories. The upper story is entered through an outdoor staircase and doorway. Therefore, tuma does not spread from the lower story to the upper story. The Mishnah discusses when the upper story is tahor and when it is tame. If the doorway of the upper story is directly above the doorway of the lower story, and the two stories are the same shape and size, the upper story is tahor. If the grave is under the house, the ceiling of the bottom floor blocks the tuma from rising to the top floor, since there is no opening between the two floors. And if the grave is under the doorway of the bottom floor, the lintel of the bottom floor's doorway blocks the tuma from rising to the top floor. Thus, there is no way for the tuma to reach the upper story. But if the entrance to the upper story is not directly above the entrance to the lower story, rather the upper entrance is over a section of the lower story's wall, the upper story is tame. In this case, the tuma can spread to the upper story. For if the grave is directly under the wall, beneath the upper story's doorway, the tuma would spread through the wall until the upper story's lintel, and the lintel would act as an ohel over the tuma and carry the tuma into the upper story. Because of this concern, the upper story is tame. The Mishnah cites a dispute about the amount of dirt from a base of pras that can make something else tame. The dispute also applies to soil from outside Eretz Yisrael, which is tame by rabbinic law, as taught in Mishnah's chapter 2, Mishnah 3, and chapter 18, Mishnah 6. Soil from a base of pras and soil from outside Eretz Yisrael arrive mixed with vegetables. Even if each vegetable only has a little bit of dirt on it, the dirt on the different vegetables combines to add up to the size of a seal for a shipping sack, which is the minimum amount needed for this dirt to be tame. If between all the vegetables there is enough dirt for a shipping sack seal, the dirt is tame. These are the words of Rabbi Eliezer, but the sages say it is not tame unless a single spot contains an amount of dirt equal to the seal of a shipping sack. Dirt from differing places cannot combine to add up to this amount. Rabbi Yehuda cites an incident to support the sages' ruling. Rabbi Yehuda said, it happened that letters came from overseas to the sons of the Kohanim Gedolim, and the letters had on them clay seals made of dirt from outside Eretz Yisrael, and all the dirt added up to a sa'ah or 2 sa'ah, which is larger than the size of a shipping sack seal. Yet the sages were not concerned that they were tame, since each seal on its own was smaller than a shipping sack's seal.